This past weekend, resurfaced tweets from Brooke Schofield's past went viral on TikTok. She'd addressed the situation on TikTok, saying that she grew up in a conservative household, and though people believe that she should have known better than to tweet the things that she did, she says she was simply just unaware that the things that she was saying were bad or racist in any way. But the conversation hasn't died down, and people are still holding her accountable, wanting her to continue speaking out on the situation. And on Monday night, she put out a few more TikToks and has been commenting back to a lot of people that have been talking about it. And now Tana has come out with a new canceled podcast episode where right in the beginning, she sits down to address the Brooke situation. We're gonna get into everything that's continued to be said about Brooke and what she has had to say recently. Following Brooke's first couple videos explaining her 2012 to 2015 tweets that had been going around, people were still waiting to see if she had more to say. As she was away on a trip at the time, everything resurfaced and had only quickly addressed things. These tweets that range from when Brooke was 15 to 18 shocked those online, and she ended up coming out in another video to address the fact that her original video that she did put up was very quickly put together and wanted to really address things much further.
You guys, I want to talk about my last video, okay? Because I am listening to everybody, and obviously I am reflecting and looking back on it, and I do agree with everyone that I missed the mark. I obviously saw everything that was going on, and I saw how hurt everybody was by it, so I felt like I just had to put something out as soon as I physically could so that nobody thought I was ignoring the situation or didn't realize how important it was. But as a result of that, I put out this very emotional, scrambled video where I essentially made none of the points that I should have been making. First and obviously most important thing is that I'm so sorry, specifically to Black people and the other people of color who were offended by my tweets, okay? Because obviously I'm seeing a lot of positivity in the comments and people saying that they forgive me, and it's all white people. And that's how I know I did not address this properly at all. So I want to be clear that this is directed specifically to Black people and other people of color, and I'm not seeking white people's understanding or forgiveness or approval or whatever it is. Now, sorry is not enough, in my opinion, for the way that I was tweeting and the things that I was saying online at that time. And I know that there's no apology beyond reparations that can mend that wound. I don't care if I was a teenager, I was old enough to know better, and not only did I choose to say those things, I chose to say those things on a public platform, and I am very, very ashamed of it.
She admits that her tweets were racist and that her last video made it seem like she was placing blame, as she tried to say what she said was a result of living in a conservative household and she shouldn't be pointing blame anywhere other than herself.
Last video, I put all this emphasis on my family thinking it was gonna provide context, but instead it just made it look like I was pointing fingers and placing blame, and that was exactly the opposite of what I should have been doing. The fact of the matter is, nobody forced me to tweet those things. I tweeted those things on my own, and the blame is on me. The conscious choice to not learn about politics until I was a young adult. But that did not stop me from tweeting political opinions. I wanted to appear that I knew more than I did and that I was educated, and instead I was spreading harmful, very, very harmful misinformation.
She talked about shifting her mindset and way of thinking when she was in college and later when she moved to LA.
And I went to college in Arizona, which is still a red state, but Arizona is also a state with a lot of diversity. And I was a public health major, where so many elements have to do with race and racial inequality. I learned so much during that time, you guys. It was actually really eye-opening for me because I had a lot of thoughts my entire life that completely shifted once I started to learn things from other people's perspectives. So much of what I previously had believed to be true changed, and I started paying attention to things that I hadn't before. Again, I acknowledge that I was an adult at this time, and I had all the resources in the world available to me to educate myself prior to college, and I chose not to, and for that I am sorry. Really, really wish that I had. I wrote my college thesis on racial disparities, so how things like socioeconomic standing, health, housing, income, and so many other things can be affected by your race. I didn't stop learning there, and I don't plan to stop learning about these issues ever.
But after digging up more tweets, people had noted this one from 2016 where she said, "I started faking liberal views when writing college papers, and it's so concerning how much my grades have improved since." Once this tweet started going around, people really questioned whether or not Brooke was really being truthful in what she was saying currently, or if she was just faking it. And she did not do herself any favors when she was seen liking this photo of Aiden Ross with Donald Trump this week. They did a live stream together and they posted an Instagram photo. She ended up liking it. She was caught liking it. She then unliked the photo and addressed it in a TikTok saying that she was not thinking when she liked this and just thought about how crazy it was that the two of them were together, and that is why she liked the photo.
Okay, before this gets any further, I have publicly stated my support for Kamala since she's been in the running, okay? And I still stand behind that. I know how stupid it looks that I liked that post today, and I literally want to kick myself in the face for it, but it was like mindless. I literally was on an airplane scrolling. I saw the last person in the entire world that I would think would be in the room with Trump. So I was like, this is crazy. And I liked the post. Worst timing ever. So stupid. Not a Trump supporter. Okay? Period. I am not a Trump supporter.
Brooke later on did say that she ended up donating to the Trayvon Martin Foundation as people urged her to after seeing what she said in 2013 when she had tweeted, "Guarantee if Zimmerman shot a white guy, this wouldn't even be a story. Newsflash, this wasn't a crime of racism, it was self-defense." She replied to someone on TikTok that had said, "Are you donating your video proceeds to Trayvon Martin's family?" And she said, "I donated $10K yesterday." And she went on to talk about this further in a TikTok that she made.
Like I said, I think reparations are more important than apologies. So I have already donated to the Trayvon Martin Foundation. Literally the first thing I did. And I'm doing my research. I'm looking into other communities and foundations that I can help with, and I will continue to do that. Like I said, in any way that I can help, I will help.
She's since decided, since all of this has happened, to delete her Twitter, though I think it is a bit too late for that. I don't really know what the point is there because everyone's already seeing what they needed to see. Maybe it's because people are going through to see if there's anything left for them to call out, but she has since deleted her Twitter. And now Tana has come out to address the situation on the Canceled podcast, saying that Brooke was not there and that was Tana's decision. And she even ended up addressing her own original comments about the Brooke situation.
I am alone on this couch. Brooke is not here with us today, and I want to be abundantly clear that that was my decision. We all saw the tweets, and they're up and they're horrific, and I'm saying that as a white person, right? Like, I cannot even imagine being a black non-fan or fan and reading those tweets. And I've made it very clear to Brooke as well that I condemn her for these tweets. I'm also wrong in this situation, and I want to be open and honest with you guys about that. When Brooke made her first apology video, I commented on it and I said, "We grew up bad, I love you," and immediately regretted it so hard. It's not my place as a white person to forgive her or add to the problem and further the narrative of white people forgiving other white people. And it's not enough to just write these things off as we grew up bad. And I think that I learned that now, and that shows me that I still have things to learn and unlearn. And I just first wanted to apologize to anyone I hurt for commenting that on her video.
Tana addresses that she has a past of tweeting out horrible things and saying horrible things in videos, and that there's always more growing to do, and goes on to talk about Brooke hopefully growing from this as well.
I'm hoping Brooke is taking the time right now to reflect and grow and learn in a lot of the ways that I did. And listen, I have always known from my first apology video and forever for the rest of my life that there will be people who will never forgive me for many things I have said and done online, for many of my ignorant, horrible takes, you know. And I told Brooke this the other day. I said, you have to make peace with the fact that there will be people that never forgive you, and this may recirculate for the rest of your life, and you have to be ready to be open and honest and talk about it, right? And I do want to say something right now that I don't necessarily know if it's going to go over well. And if it doesn't, listen, I read all of your comments. I see every TikTok. I see everything you tag me in. You are the first people who can tell me, shut the fuck up, you shouldn't have said that, and I will come back on this couch next week and actively learn and grow in front of you.
At one point, it honestly sounded like Brooke was no longer going to be a part of the podcast, with the way that Tana was mentioning knowing where she wants the podcast to go. But she later claimed by liking a comment that that wasn't the case, but it certainly sounded like it.
I think that I've seen a lot of feedback just in general, and I know where I want the future of this podcast to go, and I will always read your guys' comments. I will always be a chronically online fuck, and I see every TikTok and everything everyone is saying, and I don't want to be any further part of any problem, and I want you guys to know that I think the tweets are disgusting, and I hope she is taking the time to grow and learn what she needs to, and take the information she needs to, and speak to people of color and understand the pain that they felt while reading those tweets. My hands aren't clean in all of this, and I'm not trying to come to this with a holier than thou perspective. I think that I know back in the day I had to take the time to grow and learn, and that's exactly what I want for Brooke in this situation. But at the same time, I am very shocked and hurt by a lot of those tweets. And I can't imagine the pain that so many Black people felt reading that tweet or dealing with racism.
Now, like I said, it seemed Tana wasn't trying to say that Brooke was actually leaving the podcast, because she liked a comment where someone said, "Wait, these comments are confusing me. What makes y'all think Tana completely dropped Brooke? I don't think Tana would drop her as a friend. I feel like Tana gives a lot of grace to her friends to grow and learn, etc. And so I don't see their friendship ending, and I also low-key don't see her permanently being off the podcast either." Tana has received some comments though from people feeling like she is acting like she just saw these tweets for the first time from Brooke, when they did come out before on Reddit and Brooke addressed them at the time, and that there just was no way that Tana did not know about that situation at the time, and that Brooke did not try and consult her about what to do in the situation, since Tana has been in a similar situation with tweets coming back up before. But Tana is certainly saying this all as if she were seeing it for the first time, and some people are just questioning Tana on that. But prior to the release of this podcast episode, it had come out that Brooke was messaging some people on social media about all of this, and to one person, she wrote about how not being on the podcast was a mutual decision. She says, "It's a mutual decision that we think is best for everyone. I need a little bit of time to process, and I feel a lot of guilt for bringing this into Tana's world with everything she's already dealing with publicly. I don't know what that means for the future, but I don't think there's any world where we sit down and giggle and laugh with everything going on, so she and Paige will have it covered for a little while, and I'm going to just take the time to do the things I've promised." A recent collaboration that Brooke was supposed to do also ended up getting canceled. She was collaborating with the clothing company Boys Lie, but they've since put out a statement saying they are no longer moving forward with the sale of their collab. They took to their Instagram to write, "Boys Lie family, we have made the decision to withdraw from our recently announced collaboration. With that said, we hope you love the August drop as much as we do. We'll be donating a portion of the proceeds to Reclaim the Block, an organization we have supported in the past. Enjoy 15% off with code BRATSUMMER, EXO, Lori, and Leah." Some fans have been left wondering what this means for the Patreon that they've paid for, and what this means for the tour that a lot of people have bought tickets to, because that is coming up soon. If they will be canceling that tour, if they will be getting a refund, what the deal is. But as of right now, that is what has been said from Brooke. That is what has been said from Tana. I certainly want to know what you guys think about all of this, especially what Tana had to say and what people are saying about what Tana said. Let me know your thoughts. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.